just trying to figure out whether or not I could get my family out or get stuff to them.
Thousands stranded in the Rockies.
The force of the water is unreal.
A state of emergency as the waters rise. Waterway warning for Calgarians.
There's a high risk of getting pinned against different things in the water, such as bridge pillars or even trees.
To steer clear from the Bow and Elbow rivers. And honoring a chuck wagon racing legend.
I mean, he loved his family more than anything.
Dominating driver and stuntman Tom Glass dies after suffering a stroke.
CTV Calgary, local breaking news with Camilla DiGiuseppe.
Good evening. The heavy rain may be behind us for now, but it's been replaced by wildfire smoke impacting our city's air quality tonight. We'll have more on that in a moment. West of the city, the province has issued a state of local emergency in Kananaskis Country because heavy rainfall and flooding has made some roads and bridges too dangerous to cross, trapping thousands of people. Alicia Fielberg reports.
Heavy rain and rising floodwater trapped thousands of people in Kananaskis. The washed-out Evan Thomas Bridge and a mudslide at Little Highwood prompted the province to declare a local state of emergency.
Right now, our focus is on reestablishing connectivity in the Highway 40 corridor. We estimate there's about 2,000 people that are impacted.
Those 2,000 people are asked to stay put for now. That includes hundreds at Mount Kidd campgrounds. This Calgary man's wife, son, and dog are in their trailer at that campground.
I'm just trying to figure out whether or not I could get my family out or get stuff to them if need be.
Driving there was not an option. Crews shut down Highway 40 at Sybil Creek, only allowing traffic to flow out, including about 500 guests at the Pomeroy Kananaskis Mountain Lodge. Guests trying to check in were not allowed to. The hotel offered free cancellation instead.
Upset because we can't go to the hotel and we can't go do all the activities.
About 250 people are backcountry camping too. The hope is to get the roads operational instead of using a helicopter.
I personally was part of the emergency response in 2013. And at that time, we evacuated about 1,300 people by helicopter. And so we're hopeful that this time we can simply allow them to drive out via the south end of Kananaskis Country.
Alberta Parks is asking visitors to reschedule their plans to the area.
Unfortunately, the rain got the best of us, and there's some closed trails. So now we're in the process of hunting out new trails.
It's a time of the year with when heavy rainfall mixed with the snow that's high in the mountains can cause some flooding, and we just want everybody to be careful out there.
Experts with the local river sport community worked to pull out infrastructure ahead of a national whitewater event this summer.
It was incredible how much force there is on the water. We moved the gates out of the water to protect them from the rising water and any debris. Now it's in flood mode. It went from about 35 meters per second yesterday to approximately 135.
Alberta Parks says Highway 40 remains closed to incoming traffic, but vehicles can now exit north and south of the Evan Thomas Bridge. That bridge still has a gaping hole, but the province opened up the highway on either side of it so that people can return home. Alicia Fieldberg, CTV News, Kananaskis.
A flood watch for Canmore has ended now that the worst of the rainfall has passed through. This also prompted officials to lift all evacuation alerts that were in place overnight. The town estimates over a 24-hour period, about 130 millimeters of rain came down on the Cougar Creek watershed, while Canmore itself saw nearly 70 millimeters. Residents of about 100 homes were placed on evacuation alert and prepared to leave on a moment's notice. But again, those alerts are now over. Many pathways remain closed due to flooding and erosion concerns, especially along Cougar Creek. Some roads were also closed due to debris and water. Residents who live near there describe what they saw and heard.
I walked all the way up to the dam, and parts of the creek sides were falling into the creek. You hear a lot of boulders and rocks moving around. There's lots of places, as you can see, where the creek was eating away at the sides.
We need to be very, very clear. We're asking everybody to stay away from all steep creeks and the banks of the Bow River. Embankments are unstable. They may be undercut, even though they could appear safe.
Although the town has lifted its flood watch, a high stream flow advisory is still in place. Town officials warn that conditions could change quickly and will provide updates on the town website and social media. Calgary experienced some intense rainfall too. For the first time, the Springbank Dry Reservoir, built in the aftermath of the devastating 2013 flood, is being used to protect the city of Calgary. It allows water to be diverted from the Elbow River, which the city calls a game changer. Here's Tyler Barrow.
For the first time, the Springbank Reservoir has been activated. Heavy rain over a number of days has pushed the need to use the new flood mitigation tool.
This event had occurred and Springbank wasn't in place, we would have been able to use the Glenmore Reservoir by itself, but we would have had to fill it right to the top and run the risk that we could have had some overspill.
The Springbank Reservoir has about 4 times the storage volume of the Glenmore Reservoir. The Springbank Reservoir was built after the city's flood in 2013.
Really proves the foresight of those decision makers coming out of 2013 to address this issue once and for all.
Around Calgary, there are pockets of mild flooding. In Clearwater Park, the Elbow River is flowing through the park. This dog walker has never seen it like this before.
It's incredible. Like, I've literally been blown away this year by how much water there is.
High stream flow advisories are in place for the Bow and the Elbow Rivers below the Glenmore Dam. In Roxborough, water was creeping into backyards. Crews are out checking out stormwater drains and deploying pumps to remove surface water. The city is advising against boating and all other water activities on the city's 2 rivers.
If you step into the water, it's very easy to lose your footing and get carried away by the current. As well, if anyone was to try to use a watercraft of any kind, there's a high risk of getting pinned against different things in the water.
The city is also advising Calgarians living in low-lying areas to be on the lookout for basement flooding. Tyler Barrow, CTV News, Calgary.
An air quality health advisory remains in effect because of heavy wildfire smoke. A thick haze moved in over the Calgary region this afternoon. The air quality index peaked at 10+, which is considered very high risk. People are being warned to limit time outdoors. It's coming from wildfires in northern Saskatchewan and expected to last well into Tuesday. Gina is in with our first look at the weather. So much going on around us, but the air quality, that's a major concern.
Yeah, the concern over the weekend was the rain, and now the moment that rain moved out, the smoke moved in, all associated with the same weather system still. It's just bringing in something new for us for today and likely into tomorrow. We are going to have clearing conditions tonight, so you'll notice smoke and the clearing heading into tomorrow morning there, where we do get to a high of 22 degrees. That is seasonal, but the air quality health index should be at around an 8 throughout Tuesday afternoon, and hopefully lightening up as we get to Canada Day. I'll have all those details coming up in your full forecast.
All right, Gina, thank you. Calgary police are urging extra caution on our city roads after 3 serious motorcycle crashes in just over a week, including 2 fatal incidents. Investigators say these tragedies are a reminder for all drivers to pay more attention to their surroundings, slow down, and adapt to changing road conditions. Mark Villani reports.
Ambulances rushed to the scene. It's the intersection of Barlow Trail and 37th Avenue, where 2 motorcyclists riding southbound around 9 p.m. Saturday collided with an oncoming SUV turning left.
I just heard them screaming, his friends screaming, and then as soon as I got here, I seen he was under the car. The bike was messed up, and honestly, it's just a tragedy.
Both riders were taken to hospital in life-threatening condition, but one of them, a 24-year-old man, has since died. Police say speed is a factor, urging Calgarians to pay more attention on the road.
Making sure that you can see it's clear for you to pull out. Even if a vehicle is certainly further on down the road than you think it is, that vehicle is travelling in excess of the speed limit. That vehicle is going to be upon you very, very quickly.
Just hours earlier that same day, another motorcyclist also suffered serious injuries, crashing into an SUV in the northeast community of Skyview Ranch. Police say he wasn't wearing a helmet and was traveling at excessive speeds.
We don't want to lose any children in our neighborhood, but some people don't care. I mean, they'll zip down here to 100 miles an hour
We need speed breakers over here because people are always flying by.
The incident also follows a similar residential crash when a motorcyclist collided with a house on June 21st, killing him instantly. The series of events is prompting a renewed message of caution for motorcycle instructors like Trevor Deck. He says riders should always wear the proper equipment, maintain a proper following distance, and drive to ever-changing road conditions, especially in wet or cold weather this summer.
Cold tires are much like a bowling ball, on your motorcycle. You slip. So the whole idea is you have to adjust. You have to be what they call the adaptable rider.
For now, police are continuing to investigate all crashes, all while issuing a warning to Calgarians.
They are preventable because people need to be driving at the speed limit.
Mark Villani, CTV News, Calgary.
A 24-year-old Canmore woman has died in a crash near the Banff Park gates along the Trans-Canada Highway. RCMP say the single vehicle collision happened around 5:30 Sunday morning. There were long lines of traffic in the area for several hours as RCMP investigated. Calgary police say a 17-year-old girl involved in a crash in Southview last week has died from her injuries. Her Volkswagen ran into two parked vehicles early Wednesday morning. Investigators say speed was likely a factor. A major landmark today for artists with disabilities. A ceremonial groundbreaking was held this morning for the Trico Community's Accessible Arts Centre. The group had been without a home for several years after the roof of the Fairview Arena collapsed in 2018. Now the National Access Arts Centre is on track for a new facility in Northwest Calgary.
A huge sigh of relief for everybody. Every day I'd go into work and you'd have some artists that would come up to me, and they are also very anxious when they're asking that question, when are we moving? What's happening? Will we have a home? Today, we can proudly share with all of them that yes, we're on our way. It's all getting started right now.
The organization says it's raised 90% of the funds needed to build the center. Revitalization work along Stephen Avenue between Centre Street and First Street Southeast is now complete. City workers replaced aging infrastructure and utilities below street level while adding some new amenities above ground. It's all part of a years-long revitalization plan to renew the aging downtown corridor. The completion of this phase is good news for businesses along the pedestrian walk, eager to kick off the summer patio season. The sport of chuck wagons is grieving the loss of one of the greatest. Six-time Calgary Stampede Rangeland Derby champion and broadcaster Tom Glass remembered. The June rainfall is welcome in southern Alberta, where years of drought has made it very difficult for farmers. June levels are 30 millimeters higher than the average. Groundwater is starting to be restored, and streams that ran dry are flowing once again. Environment and Climate Change Canada is predicting more typical weather in July and August. School boards across Alberta are getting additional funding for classroom complexity teams. The province is spending $100 million to hire more teachers and educational assistants to help students with complex needs and behavioral issues. It's already announced funding for complexity teams in kindergarten to grade 6. Most of today's funding announcement is targeted towards 221 complexity teams in grades 7 to 12, and each team will include a number of new staff members.
It will be comprised of one teacher, one EA, and up to 2 additional specialists as determined by the school division based on their student needs or student population.
The province says the funding will emphasize responding to behavioral challenges so students can learn in a safe environment. A judge has cleared Elections Alberta to verify signatures from a petition calling for a separation referendum. The petition by Stay Free Alberta has been stalled since May, when a judge found the province neglected its duty to consult First Nations. Stay Free Alberta lawyer Jeffrey Rath argued Elections Alberta should be allowed to verify what they claim are more than 300,000 signatures. The judge in the ruling found verification will be more difficult as time passes and gave Elections Alberta approval to verify the results and to share them with the public. The chuck wagon world is grieving the loss of one of the greatest to ever jump into the seat. Tom Glass died Friday at the age of 77 after suffering a stroke. Moses Waldo has more on how the sporting legend is being remembered.
Puddles on the track at the Ponoka Stampede seemed fitting, as if nature teared up paying respect to chuck wagon racing legend Tom Glass, who died last week.
Thank God we got to say goodbye to him. He was alert enough that he recognized all of our voices. He squeezed our hands.
The chuck wagon community and Glass family are grieving while competing in Ponoka. Tom Glass suffered a stroke and died last Friday. Amid the grief, there are smiles, looking back on a man who loved his family as much as he did the sport.
His biggest passion was being at his ranch in Arizona, roping, having his kids and his grandkids come to Arizona.
Even sharing those special moments with his grandson, who's an outrider.
There's a few old chuck wagon drivers that all had a big part in the sport, and my grandpa was one of them, and checkerboards have been going on for a long time now, and I hope I can carry that on.
Glass was also a stuntman and an Alberta Sports Hall of Fame member, but he was best known as a competitor, winning for a better part of the 80s and 90s, including 6 Calgary Stampede Rangeland Derby titles, 4 as a driver and 2 as an outrider. Glass was also respected by his peers.
He had the ability, and it come down from his father and his grandfather. He just had it. I don't know what it is, but he had it.
Guys that are icons in the sport, you know, always relied on Tom's input.
Which made Glass a natural when he moved into the booth after retiring in 1998.
If somebody came from a foreign country that had no idea what these bunch of coconuts were doing out there on the track with all these horses, he could put it across in such a black and white plain way.
Brianne Glass says Jason is driving with a heavy heart, and during his first race since his father's death, Jason had the fastest time on race day 1 of the Ponoka Stampede, a reminder to the Glass family that Tom is nearby.
He did it for his dad. I know he did. His dad was with him. His dad is with him all the time.
Tom Glass was 77. Moses Waldo, CTV News, Ponoka.
Gina's up next with our Skywatch forecast, and the smoke is lingering across the city and beyond the city limits. Those details next and when we can see improvements.
Well, all that rain is finally starting to move out of Alberta, but we still will encounter the possibility for some thunderstorms throughout the week. Environment and Climate Change Canada, though, has issued some preliminary totals from the weekend's rain event, starting on Friday evening into Monday morning here. So Waterton has recorded close to 80 millimeters of precipitation over the weekend. Edmonton area 57, here in Calgary, just a little bit more than 50 millimeters. It was a lot of water all at once, and now we need to start to look ahead and hopefully get some drying conditions to help evaporate some of that lingering precipitation. We did get to a seasonal high of 21 today, so that definitely helps us out. 24 in Edmonton. There was sunshine too, but now what's going on associated with that low pressure system is the smoke being moved in, and I'll show you from where in just a moment. Tomorrow's high 22 degrees, 23 in Lethbridge, and we have 24 for Brooks and Medicine Hat tomorrow afternoon. So right where we should be when it comes to temperatures. But here's a look at your upper air pattern, which shows that pretty massive closed low that was over Alberta on the weekend, now moving into Saskatchewan. But that counterclockwise rotation, it creates a setup here with these wildfires burning in northern Alberta, or excuse me, Saskatchewan. Because of that counterclockwise rotation, is just funneling all that smoke into southern Alberta. That's going to be the story heading into Tuesday, but you're seeing the movement on the map here by Wednesday afternoon. That low should be far enough away that we're not seeing as much smoke move in from that system, but it still could be a hazy Canada Day out there. And then, of course, we have Stampede starting on Friday as well with the parade, and we got a new complex of low pressure systems that could bring some instability back into parts of Alberta for the weekend. Really, overall, there's a lot going on with this upper air setup. Nothing's quite concrete, so we're anticipating late day storms popping up and into overnight hours as well. You see that play out pretty nicely here on your regional forecast. Temperatures not influenced too much by the upper air pattern, and we see if you're more to the south in Lethbridge, Medicine Hat, Pincher Creek, you're likely going to avoid thunderstorms for the next 5 days or so, but not quite the story here in Calgary. Something to be mindful of for the next 4 or 5 days, but again, temperatures looking great overall.
All right, Gina, thanks so much. Coming up, these four-legged critters can't help but get into the World Cup spirit, and no surprise, they're garnering a lot of attention. The FIFA beavers in full show next. On Friday, hundreds of thousands of people will be downtown for the Stampede Parade. If you can't make it in person, CTV has you covered. Our award-winning live parade broadcast begins at 8:55 a.m. right here on TV and online. You can also catch our show on Crave, on the CTV News app, and on our YouTube and TikTok channels. A bunch of Canadian critters have taken over an historic Toronto neighborhood. Beaver statues are being painted in international colors. CTV's Heather Butts has more on the World Cup-inspired art project.
Hanging out on sidewalks, in building lobbies, and outside popular restaurants, these 4-foot-tall rodents will likely stop you in your tracks. The colorful cast of characters welcoming people to a downtown Toronto neighborhood.
See people walk by and pat it like this? Yeah.
Entertaining even for the artists who painted them. Jonas Lobo was proud to see the Portugal-inspired beaver he completed with his father on display.
It's nice to be able to get involved and to be able to showcase my pride for my Portuguese heritage and Canada.
The father-son duo, the only pair out of the dozens of artists selected to decorate these beavers, which honor the 48 countries participating in the World Cup, plus a few extras in celebration of the global event.
It was nice to bring both of our approaches to art together. We used a lot of inspiration from Portuguese blue and white tiles, which is called Portuguese azulejo.
An opportunity for the artists to work together, blending their love of culture, country, and sport.
I coached soccer for 16 years and multiple teams, and participating this way in the World Cup gives me the illusion that I'm part of the big tournament.
The sculptures were manufactured locally, then transformed. A diverse and lighthearted Canadian touch welcoming the world. No two are alike, as the artist's personality shines through their work, each with a connection to the country their beaver represents. Margaret Cresswell giving a nod to her family heritage with what she calls the kilted Canuck.
Well, of course she had to be wearing a kilt, so she's wearing a classic tartan.
Heather Butts, CTV News, Toronto.
A massive upset at the World Cup this afternoon. Paraguay beat Germany on penalty kicks, so Germany is out of the competition. Brazil advances after its 2-1 win over Japan today. Canada's next game is on Saturday at 11 a.m. our time. They will be playing in Houston against Morocco, who beat the Netherlands in a penalty shootout tonight. That will be an exciting game come this weekend. All right, that's it for us here at CTV News at 11:30. We'll see you soon. Have a great night.